Hello everyone, welcome to Grade Up. Welcome to your CMAT revision test series. Today we're actually gonna start a series where I'm gonna cover all the aspects of VARC, the more important aspects, that is grammar, vocabulary and logic. Alright, we have been I've taken questions from past year question papers and predicted the pattern, and therefore I made a lot of questions on the basics. So it's a series of classes where we do all the aspects of VARC of CMAT. So I hope you will follow me through the series and do well in your exam. All right. Hello Yashwan. Hello Captain Gaming. Alright, before we start, as we are waiting for students to join in, remember March we have a huge 30 plus 40% off on Grade Up Super subscription. If you take that, it gives you access to all the MBA entrances, CAT, ZAT, ALET, CMAT, Maharashtra CET, TISNET, everything. And there is a duration, like you can take it for 1 month, 3 months, 12 months, 18 months. Then we have a CAT 2021 course also. Any of you interested in that, do look at the details. It's coming at a huge discount as well. Remember, at the end of the session, if you like the session, do press the like button, do leave a comment, and do subscribe to our YouTube MBA channel so that you get regular notifications. Pressing the bell, you'll get regular notification of all our classes and courses. Those of you on the app, you will get regular notifications on the app. Also join our Telegram group, all of you, so that you get notification of the courses. Hello Pallavi. All right, so now one of the questions that is often asked in non-CAT exams, especially Maharashtra CET and CMAT, is sentence correction and sentence improvement. Today we are looking more at sentence improvement, where a sentence is given to you and the underlined portion is restated in 4 or 5 ways, and you have to choose which option has expressed the underlined part best in terms of grammar and word usage. All right. So look at the first question, which is a CMAT 2020 question, if I remember right. 2020 or 2019. Yeah. What do you think is the right answer? Please don't be shy to mark your answers. All right. It doesn't matter if you're wrong. You can always correct yourself. But do write so that I feel some sort of a connection with you. All right. It can't be a one-way thing. All right, Shrishti thinks it's E, Devesh thinks it's sorry. Shrishti and Devesh think it's E, A, Narayan thinks it's D. All right. So remember, in this sense, what you need to be is, we want him to be the teacher. Whom? Okay, so basically, let me see, where is my Okay, we want him. Whom do you want? The one who has the best rapport with the students. All right. So here, the best thing you are saying is, we want him. You want him as what? We want him to be the teacher. Okay. So that's the question. That is done. That sentence is done. Then you say, what kind of teacher do you want? So remember, in sentence improvement, you have to first look at what is the meaning or intended meaning of the author. If this is the meaning, if I'm going to express it, how am I going to express it? The author has expressed it like this. It seems rather odd, so how am I going to correct it? We want him to be the teacher. All right, that's what you're saying. So we want him to be the teacher. We want her to be our teacher. Right? That's how you say. So we want him to be the teacher is the expression. After that, you just add who? The one who has the best rapport with the students. Therefore, the answer is A. All right. Hello, Gaurang. I hope you enjoy your first class here. All right. Today we are doing CMAT and we are doing grammar. So this grammar basics will help you in any aptitude test, any exam, or just for your knowledge. When you speak or write English, you write correct English. So if you're taking a test, it's fantastic. It will help you with CMAT. This is CMAT specific, but even if you aren't, it would be a good thing to know why is it this, why is it that. Understood all of you why first one is A? All right, let's go to the second one. So that is one way they ask you the questions. The other way is where they give you a blank and then they'll say, okay, if you complete the sentence, which of the completed sentence is grammatically correct? Thank you, Vanshita. Thank you for being here. The more the merrier, right? All right. Why is it had already typed? Because there are two actions here. This action happened first, then this action happened. Therefore, the answer is B. Excellent. So now I know your basics are firmly in place, but I will still take you through the rules of why it is that. All right. Okay. This is the other question that we're looking. So after we do the first 5 questions which I have taken from past papers, I have patterned the rest of the questions on those papers. All right. All right. Next one. What do you think is the correct one? Okay, Narayan. Let's look. Let's examine if you are right or wrong after the thing is done. All right. Eknath, good. Please put the question number next. Okay. The rule is although is the conditional concessional sentence. Although and but don't go together, right? It becomes redundant. Either you say although or you say he failed in mathematics but still he received his engineering degree. Therefore, although and but can't be used together. So this is wrong. This is wrong. Here that makes it even worse. So the answer is B. All right. Although and but, although and yet don't go together. Excellent. All right. Next one. So remember the order of this key is like this. This part is the part which has the error and this is the sequence of the answer options. Okay. This seems to have made you think a bit. As John had I was told by a student that ma'am, when you read aloud you give the game away, which is why I'm not reading it aloud. Plus I'm very tired today. All right, I'm seeing all answers. So remember, the order here is option A, mark option A if A has the mistake in it. Mark option B if D has the mistake in it. Mark option C if B has the mistake in it. And D if C has the mistake in it. Right, that's how. So if you are marking C as the correct answer, that means this part B has a mistake in it. All right. Hello Shantanu. As John had taken only a few sips of tea, बस कुछ ही sip लिया था. So this is correct. This is correct. There was still little tea होगा कि a little होगा. There was still a little tea left in the cup because he had taken only a few sips. So there was still some tea left in the cup. He couldn't finish the tea. Now I told you means those of you who attended my earlier TISNET grammar class would know the difference between little and a little. Little means almost nothing. Okay, a little means a small amount. So little has a negative connotation, a little has a positive connotation. Okay, so he has little knowledge about the subject means nothing. He has a little knowledge means कुछ तो पता है, थोड़ा बहुत पता है. That's the difference. All right. So the answer here, the expression should have been a little, not little. Mark it. Then I'll quickly tell you some of the rules about tenses. Okay, just the few important ones are what you need to know. So it's not going to be like Renan Martin again, but I'm going to tell it to you as briefly as possible. Okay, now when you speak of tenses, remember, when you use present tense, you talk of what's happening now. Past is what has already happened. Future, what is going to happen. When you talk of facts, you use simple present tense. When you talk of what is happening now, you use present continuous. It is raining. But the moment you mention for how much time, you have to use present perfect continuous or present perfect tense. So here the student, from 6 the wait has started, even now it has been happening. Therefore you will say the student has been waiting for you since 6 o'clock, not is waiting for you. All right. Okay, this is the most repeated tense question in CMAT. Okay, the same rule again, that the moment you say since it started, you have a time period. When a time period is mentioned, perfect tense is used. So you will not say the children are playing in the rain. It is the children have been playing in the rain. Now again, what's the difference between for and since as prepositions? For is used to express the period of time, how much time. Okay, and since is used to use only the starting point. Okay, so I have been teaching since today, what time? I have been teaching since 2 p.m. Was it 2 today? Yeah. That means I have been teaching for 4 hours now. 4.5 hours now. Okay, the moment you express it in terms of hours, minutes, you use for. If you mention only the starting point of the time, you use since. Again, when we do prepositions, we will go back on this rule. Okay. All right. So the answer is D. Excellent. Okay, next one. Yes, it indicates the work is still being done, and you do not mention the ending point of action. So just the starting time. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Why not A? Why is it B? B, many of you have marked B. I'm asking, why not A? Okay, many of you have given B. It is B because it's a fact. All facts. Earlier also it went around the sun. Now also it's going around the sun. It's likely to go around the sun. Therefore you say revolves around the sun. Alright. So whenever you state a fact or a habit, something that you do often, and especially when you use verbs of frequency like often, always, never, twice a day, 3 times a day, those kind of things, when you use simple present tense. Okay, so you should not say I am going to the temple every day. Rather you say I go to the temple every day, because you use a verb of frequency, so it shows a habit. All right. Okay, excellent. Another question from CMAT. Siddharth, Bagadi, Shantanu. All right, YouTube guys, you all are slow. Where are your answers? Okay, the choice is between obviously C and D. Got started and what was started are wrong English, bad English. So is it C or D? Movie was started means you're putting it in passive voice. It was started by, the company was started by somebody, right? Passive voice you are using. But here you don't say movie was started. Movie shuru ho gaya tha. That's what you are trying to say. So is it just started or is it had started? So remember the rule. Let me quickly do this. Okay. Whenever you are talking of the past, just as one event, use simple past. Okay, I sent you a mail, I studied this, I adopted a dog. Okay, but when there are two actions and there is a small time gap, then you have to show which action happened first and which action happened later. So here you are reaching the theater happened first or the movie starting happened first. The movie started first, so then you say the movie had started. Shuru ho gaya tha, then you reached the station. So when we reached the station, the movie had started. D. Alright, all of you clear? Two actions. One action happened a little earlier, one a little later. Then you have to use had before the first action, with the first action. Alright, okay. Whenever you are talking of the past, jo kaam khatam ho gaya, when you are talking of the past, then you use just one sec guys, one sec, huh? So we reached home late yesterday. This is only one action, correct? So you'll say hum kal ghar bahut der pahunche. We reached home late yesterday. This is only one action. Then you used only simple past. Understood? Reached, sent, taught, learnt. Okay? But when there are two actions, then only here there are two actions. And you're talking of two events. And in these two events, one event got done, started and then another happened. Here you say, okay, this is the only condition. The man who made the rules of English, he put the past perfect tense only for one reason. To show if two actions happened in the past, to show which action happened a little earlier. And the earlier action is where you use the had. So in spoken English, we say, I had gone to the mall yesterday. But that is wrong. I went to the mall yesterday. But you can say, I had gone to the mall when something happened. Then it is correct. Mall pehle gaya, baad mein aur kuch hua. Then you can use had gone. But otherwise, use just went instead of had done. Alright, okay, now let's look at 9. So first thing, determine it is in past tense. So whatever I want has to be in the past tense. Then see what is the nature of what you are doing. So we were asked. So you are talking about the past and you are putting it in passive voice. They asked us became we were asked. So when you are using the passive thing, put the whole thing in past tense and put it in passive voice. So what will the answer be? All right, good. Lots of correct answers on YouTube. What we have seen is wrong because it is past. Is it what we had seen or what we saw? What do you think is the correct answer? Remember, it's in passive voice. What did you see? He asked us what we had seen. Correct? So we were asked to write an account. It is in passive voice. So not what you saw, it will be what we had seen. Because the whole thing is in passive voice. He asked us what we saw. Usko passive voice mein dalo. I was asked what I had seen. Therefore, it will be what we had seen. So answer is B. Okay, the meaning is shown by both, but since the whole thing is in correct term, yes, what we had seen is the correct answer. No, what we had seen. What had we seen becomes like a question. You understand? That kya dekha aapne? Right? That's what you're asking. So what has to be asked? Not that we had seen. We wrote an account of the picture that we had seen. So that is called a demonstrative pronoun. It should point to some earlier mentioned, some specific thing. But here it is not that. What did you see? You have to write an account of that. So that doesn't have an account here. That would only be used when you're saying it is that possibility that I'm looking at. It is that house. So there has to be some sort of pointing happening. Then only that you use. Okay. Otherwise, it's a most misused word. I think I've used that word in tomorrow's class also. Okay. Next one. So just ask yourself, first question, what is the sentence meaning? It is talking of something that happens every time. So it's a regular habit. Whenever you're talking of an event that's a regular habit, what tense should you use? The present tense. How do you celebrate your birthday is different from how did you celebrate last birthday. How do you celebrate your birthday? I get up early, I do this, I invite my friends, we go out. So whenever you're talking of something you do on a regular basis, you use simple present tense. Same way here, whenever we go on a trip, what do? हम जब भी जाते हैं, then what do? So we tell our neighbors, not told our neighbors. Used to tell our neighbors means here, whenever we went on a trip in the past, we used to tell our neighbors to take care. That means you don't do it now. So this is another word, that expression that all of you are confused about. There are two meanings of used to. Okay. पहले यहाँ एक पेड़ हुआ करता था, अब किसी ने काट दिया. Then you'll say there used to be a tree here. When I was a child, there used to be a tree here. Now it is not there anymore. Okay. When I was a child, I used to run for this much time every day. पहले करता था, अब नहीं करता हूँ. The other one is, oh, this ma'am, she keeps talking all the time. Oh, don't worry, attend a few classes, आदत पड़ जाएगा. You will get used to it. So there are two meanings of used to. Don't use used to for something that you do even now. Right? So here he is saying, जब भी हम बाहर जाते हैं, whenever we go out, what do? We tell our neighbors. It's happening. It's happened in the past and it's a habit. Therefore, you use A. This D you will say is when, oh, do you know Mr. X? We say, yeah, I know him. Because when we used to live there, we used to leave our pet in his house. हम वहाँ जाया करते थे, किया करते थे, not anymore. Then only you used to. The other one is आदत पड़ गया है. I'm used to it. Okay, how come you're standing for so long, your legs are not hurting? No, I'm used to it. Okay, that is the other way. Don't use it in any other manner. Okay, that's another very common mistake that you make. All right, next one. None of these are my original creation. Some past paper or the other I've got it. And I was surprised to see this pattern answers, questions repeated so often. First, when the bell rang shows that it's remember, fix the time of the sentence and all the verbs should be in the same time frame, different forms. Past tense has 4 forms, it could be any form. So when the bell rang, I realized that, ye theek hai. Now what should I say? Since you are mentioning the time period, no, when the bell rang, past hai. So instead of have been, what will you say? You realized. Again you are using the past, so you won't say have been. You will say, I had been waiting for the principal for an hour. Alright. I realize now that I have been, suppose you meet the principal face to face, then you will say, sir, I have been waiting for you for more than an hour. But here the whole thing is in past tense. So you can't use have. You have to use had been waiting, not be, see. Understood? That's why first fix the time. Aditi, he is talking of a past event. Otherwise he will say, I have been waiting is for now. But here he is saying the reference is to the past. Okay, kahan present first. This is present. This is present. I am telling, somebody asked me, Aditi asked me, why is it had been nahi hua? Had been kab hoga? Have been kab hoga? When you meet the principal and you say, sir, I have been waiting for you for such a long time and you are going away. Then have been. But here when the bell rang, I realized that. So the whole thing is in reported speech and past tense. I realized what? That. So this is past, so this also has to be past continuous. Only when it is now will you say have been waiting. Got it? Understood, Aditi? I have been waiting for this class for a long time, ma'am. Why didn't you come early? That is different. When the reference is now, right? But this reference was past. I realized that when the bell rang, past. I realized that, past. So the rest of the sentence will be in some form of past. That's the first rule you need to get into your head. Look at the first verb and decide what is the time. Except Galileo said that. That's an exception for permanent truths. Alright? Okay, 12. The most common answer is D. Okay. What is the difference between have and having? And we'll now talk a little about verbs that you should not use in ing form. Have is used for possession. Anything that you possess. You shouldn't say I'm having 10 watches. I'm having 2 dogs. I have. Things that you possess or own is have. Having is used for other things like I'm having a party in my house, I'm having a headache, I'm having my lunch. Alright. Now, there are certain verbs which are called verbs of perception. Like understand, think, feel, want, see, smell, okay, which involve your perception. Those you generally don't use. When they are used as a sense of perception, you won't use it in the ing form, right? You should not say I am wanting to meet you. It's just I want to meet you, right? Or you should when you comment about the taste of something, and this is again a very commonly asked question. When you are talking about the taste of something, right? The mango tastes sour, khatta hai, but you use it if you are in the process, chakhne ka process mein ho, so I am tasting the soup to see if it is okay. If you are talking about the inherent taste of something, you have to say this tastes awful. Okay, you should not say this pizza is tasting burnt. This pizza tastes burnt. Same way, think. I shouldn't say I am thinking you're a good group. I should say I think you're a good group. But I can say I'm thinking of retiring. Honestly, today so many times I've thought, why don't I retire? Okay, by the time I come to the last class, I'm like ready to fall. Okay, so I'm thinking of retiring, means I'm planning to. Then you use thinking. But when you're talking of the thought in your mind, it is or your opinion, it is just I think this is a good idea. All right. Okay, doubt also. I am doubting it. Wrong. I doubt it. All right. All right. Next. A very controversial question. Oh my God, there was a mile-long discussion in one of those groups for this question. I don't know why. Mile-long. So the problem with Google is some of the website people, I mean, you don't know who knows grammar, who doesn't know grammar. Everybody has come up with an opinion. And what explanations they gave for this. Funny. Thank you, Arnav. No. I say that, but as it is, I eat a lot. If I retire, I'll eat more and grow more fat. So this is the only way to not grow fat. पढ़ाती हूँ तो खाती नहीं हूँ, मैं खा नहीं पाऊँगी पढ़ाते वक्त. So, all right, guys. When I met you for the first time, I felt as if I had known you all my life. Is this sentence anything different? I had known you all my life, knew you all my life, was known to you all my life, had been knowing you. So again, ask yourself, he is talking of, when do you use present perfect continuous or past perfect continuous. Let me just not talk in those terms, okay? Let's draw this. Simple present, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. Correct? What is the rule about this? ये तो सब लोग पंडित हो. You've already learned this. When do you use this? For an action which is just completed. I'll explain this to you. Yes, the answer to this is A, not D. Not D. Alright, I'll tell you why. You use this past perfect is the most irritating tense. It's said to have one foot in the past and one foot in the present. Okay, आधा आधा है त्रिशंकु की तरह. So it's used for an action which is completed but which has a connection for now with now. So you use it for actions which have just happened. Okay, I'm late. No, I've just started the class. I have just begun. Right? Something. Or something which has a connection with now in some way. Therefore, you never use this tense with any word which indicates past tense. I have known you I've known you all my life. No need for the for there, Siddharth. So for is understood. Alright. So you will say, I have completed my graduation. Correct. But you should not say, I have completed my graduation in 2017. That is wrong. Usme kya bolna hai? I completed my graduation in 2017. Did you get the meaning? Never use it with a word which indicates past time. I have lost my phone. Full stop. Correct. I have lost my phone in the morning. Aaj subah kahin kho gaya. Then you are wrong. You'll say, I lost my phone in the morning. So never use this tense with any word which indicates past time. Now, the reason many of you got this wrong, that's why I'm pointing this out, had been knowing you. When do you use this? Okay. Past tense, I told you, I ate. No, I did. Okay. I was doing. I had done. And I had been doing. Correct? Any action which happened in the past, if it's only one action, this. Any action which happened in a particular point in the past, and you're talking of that point when the action was going on. So at 7:40 yesterday, what were you all doing? I was watching the cricket match and crying. I was watching the cricket match. But by itself, what will you say? I watched the match yesterday. Okay, but if I say exactly at 7:05, what were you doing? Then you'll think back and you'll say, I was having my lunch or having my dinner, sorry. Okay? Something which is already over, I told you, two actions, then you say, I had done. Now, when will you use I had been doing? Okay, I moved to this company, whatever company you're working in 2019. Before that, I worked in another company, or I had been working in a particular company for many years. So here, when I met you for the first time, why would you use this? I had been knowing you all my life. No. I had been knowing you cannot happen. You have either known it or not. The process of knowing you is not in continuous form. So I thought I had known you all my life. I met you, and at that point I felt from the beginning to this time I knew you. Therefore, you use A. Alright? Alright, next. Yes. Shreyas played well. Then I was hoping that Bhuvneshwar Kumar or one of them will do a particular magic and England will just collapse. That didn't happen. I shut off the TV, put it on again. 54 no loss tha. Then I shut it off. I started working for today's class, fortunately. Okay, 14. I am a least common denominator wala cricket fan who that India should always win. If India doesn't win, I don't watch. 14. Right? Easy. it is the conditional sentence 1. This is in simple present tense, no will there. So when the president arrives, the band will play the national anthem. Alright, no, you don't use two wills. Okay, I'll tell you the conditional sentences in a bit, maybe the next sentence. I will talk to you about conditional sentences, which will complete the entire tenses chapter. 14 is correct, all your answers. Let's see 15. Okay, this is a mean question because I haven't taught it, but I'm just hoping one person will get it right. Yes, Vikalp got that right. Siddharth also got it right. All right, let's look at it. Now, in English, there is a term called the subjunctive. You know that? I shouldn't sound like Renan Martin in spoken English, but basically remember, whenever you talk of verbs, no, they'll always talk of verb, tense, mood and voice. These are the three things when you need to know about verbs. Alright? Tense though you know, voice you know, active voice, passive voice. If the sentence is in yes, imaginary condition. When you talk of just a sentence, today is Saturday. If you just make a statement, that statement is said to be in indicative mode. Alright. If you say shut the door, switch on the fan, it is, or even please, okay, is said to be in imperative mode, though imperative means order. Then if it talks of a hypothetical condition or wishes and desires, the form of the verb itself changes, and that mode in a subjunctive mode. Subjunctive mode talks of is used to express wishes and desires, is used to express hypothetical situations, and it is used in a particular case with verbs which certain verbs which followed by that, as in forming noun clauses. Okay, now we'll talk about that later, but here he is not your boss. You're talking of he is behaving as if it is the hypothetical. So he is behaving as if shows it's a hypothetical conditions. Now the past of is, was, but in subjunctive case, hypothetical, it becomes were. So he talks as if he were my boss. If I were the Prime Minister of India, you should not say if I was the Prime Minister of India. If I were a bird, I would fly high. Okay. So basically, whenever you're talking of that, if I were in your place, I would do it. You shouldn't say if I was in your place. Understood? All right. My favorite explanation of conditional sentences. Answers? Yeah, okay. Most of you got it right. I should have got this in the slide itself. Doesn't matter. All right. So you don't. So this is called a conditional sentence. There is an if, the then is understood. Okay. Now there are three types of conditional sentences. This is in the first type. The first one is in simple present tense, and this is called the conditional clause, and this is called the result clause. So in if the conditional clause is in simple present tense, if you work hard, the result clause will be in simple future. You will succeed. All right. The second one is the conditional clause is in past tense. Then the result clause would, could, might, anything succeed. Okay. Now this is called type 1 conditional, this is called type 2 conditional, this is called type 3. Okay, there's a 0 conditional also. Now this type 1 and 2 conditional are referring to the future. It hasn't yet happened. We are just talking of the condition that if you work hard, you will succeed. If you worked hard, you might succeed, you could succeed. So what's the difference between 1 and 2? In 1, you are sure of the result. A pakka. Okay, then you would use type 1. In the second one, you're not so sure of the result, which is why you say if you worked hard, past tense, you could succeed, you would succeed, you might succeed. The third one, ho gaya, khatam. You didn't work hard, sadly you didn't succeed. Then you will say if you had worked hard, you would have succeeded, or the variation here is had you worked hard, you would have succeeded. Now, the rule is the if and then clause can be changed, but the if clause, interchanged. So I can say you'll succeed if you work hard, which is the same thing as this. The only difference, the only rule is that the if clause should never take a will or a would in it. So you should obviously never say it will, if it will rain, the class will be cancelled. It's just if it rains, the class will be cancelled. All right. The rest of the questions, you remember the structure for in 3 sentences, and you will never make a mistake in conditional sentences. There are quite a few questions on conditional sentences in CAT. Here remember the underlined part is this. I have not underlined, but this is the part you change. So looking at this, you decide what is the right conditional clause. Very good, 9136. Read the first, this doesn't change, right? You could succeed, remember. So you are just doubtful about the future. So what will this part be? Hello Priya, the last 3 questions you are joining. So it can't, if you had worked hard is talking of an event which has already happened. Therefore the answer is if you worked hard, you could succeed. See, first one, if you work hard, you will succeed. Here it will be just work. Second one is saying you could, would, might succeed. So this has to be just in simple past. Therefore it is C. If you want to use this, then this one should be you would have succeeded. That wasn't given, right? So answer is C. I deliberately put it the other way around and you got confused. Okay, next one. What is the first rule? The if clause. In the if clause, you should never use a will or a would. This is never used. So only if work hard, worked hard, or had worked hard. If you ask, if you asked, if you had asked. Those are the 3. So if you asked, I would help you, not would have helped you. Since it is would have helped you, it is conditional 3. Conditional 3 means the first one is correct. Guys, those 3 sentences, you need to know it properly. I'll give it to you in a slide next time. If you ask, I will help you. If you asked, past, I would, could, or might help you. If you had asked, I would have helped you. Those are the 3 you need to remember. Okay. Okay, one more question. This is the penultimate question. So just hang in there. Khatam ho jayega. One entire lesson of grammar, tenses we have completed today. I found that in sentence improvement, lot of tenses questions were there. The next class, when we do, next class is tomorrow only, we will continue with grammar and do some other aspect, but. Finally you are getting the hang of it. If a person had read the contract properly, he would have realized. Had read, would have. All right, excellent. Last question. Excellent. Very good. You make me happy. Finally, you've understood. Acha. The patterns are falling in place. Good. You know, I have asked you the had been doing, had been waiting questions. 5 out of the 20 questions were only on one rule of tenses, and you got all of them right. So I'm very happy. कहा जाता है in English is said, not told. ठीक है, कहा जाता है कि it is said that. Okay, so that part is correct. Said is the correct word here. So the sentence is correct. There is nothing wrong with it. Okay, the Italians are said to have invented cheese. It is said that the Italians invented cheese becomes the Italians are said to have invented cheese. This is more a usage question. Have been said is wrong. Told is wrong. Okay, that too is considered, it's called butler English. Galat hai pura. All right, guys. So tomorrow, probably at the same time, I think it's at the same time. You like the session, do press a like. These are the stars of grade up. Tomorrow at the same time, we'll look at grammar again, some other aspects of grammar and usage, not tenses. I will just, the first slide, I will just do the conditional sentences, just to, give you a hit on the head so that you remember it. And then no explanations, I'll just show it to you. And after that, we'll continue with usage questions. By the time you are done with 3 classes, you can start teaching grammar, hopefully. Alright, I feel very upset when people say grammar nahi hoga humse. I say it's the most doable thing in English. Alright, so I will see you again tomorrow. Okay, let me prepare for it now and go and have a great dinner and come back for the next session. Thank you. Alright, you like it, please press a like, leave a rating. Do attend the classes regularly, share the video with your friends. I get scolded for not saying this often, but I say it's understood. If they like it, they'll do it. Khana kaisa hai? Khana kaisa hai? Do people ask that? I never do, because mera khana bahut kharab hai. So I never ask people khana kaisa tha. I look at the food. If a little bit gets done, I say, maybe it's okay. Yes, Twinkle, 7 p.m. Okay, be there at 7. I shall also be there. All right, take care all of you. I will see you very soon. Bye bye.